fruitful in today's fast-moving world. We need beneficial partnerships to encourage creativity, leverage experience, and maximize resources that can help to solve or find the solution as quickly as possible. With partnerships and external collaboration, organizations will be able to innovate or create solutions to complex problems that may not be possible by isolation. Second, benefits of academic and research collaborations. Academic and research collaboration is a very valuable tool that not only accelerate the progress, but also enhance the quality of the work. Academic collaboration is beneficial to the faculty in learning new teaching tools, and to the student in increasing the breadth of their knowledge and learning different approach to solve the problem. Institutional collaboration, either domestic or international level, must be emphasized, encouraged, and brought to a level where it can impact and improve the quality, resources, and capability of both institutions involved. The academic culture that fosters partnerships and cooperation instead of individualism must be embraced to improve quality and as well as accelerate progress. Thirdly, the collaboration in modern scientific world. In the modern scientific world, scientists depend and survive on their extensive collaboration with colleagues, sharing specialized reagents, specimens, data, techniques, and expertise is the engine that speeds up their projects and gives life to new ideas and scientific breakthroughs. The presence of established channels that allow effective communication, stable partnership, and large networks between academics enables the flow of critical information among them. Such networking and cooperation are extremely valuable not only for sharing information on new approach and resources, but also acquiring specialized and new expertise. With limited funding from the government, institutions of higher education would have to explore every potential source for financial support. Collaboration of institutions will strengthen the capacity of their research work. This can be very special and influential in receiving grants from other sources such as foundations and international organizations. Development of advanced technology in recent decades has made possible the production of very specialized and complex pieces of equipment that are expensive to purchase and require highly specialized professionals to operate them correctly. This scientific investment requires long-term planning for additional funding to cover the cost of operating, maintaining, repairing, and updating the equipment. Most importantly, much specialized equipment requires a team of specialists who not only should have expertise in operating it successfully, but also have the scientific ability to achieve answers to significant questions that advance the field. Fourthly, the attitude of scientists to culture of collaborations. The attitude of scientists and researchers must be changed to accommodate a culture of cooperation. Partnership among researchers ensure that their knowledge, skills, and techniques are made available to everyone interested and mutually benefit the participants. The more researchers collaborate, the greater are the chance of success and the greater impact of the problem solving. In developing countries, where world-class resources are extremely limited, collaboration between become particularly valuable as a means to acquire knowledge and experience. Therefore, it is imperative to have a collaborative approach not only in sharing knowledge, but also in making equipment, facility, and laboratory available to other researchers, even if they belong to another institutions. Fifth, the quality improvement of higher education. Academic and research collaboration is primarily a relationship between people. The researcher or administrator of different higher education institutions to create a new type of working culture that supports teamwork and partnership and encourage innovation and knowledge creation. It is important to have this value embedded in people. Researchers, scientists, students, and administrators must realize the importance of their partnerships efforts. Encouraging academic and research cooperation among various institutions makes the team network approach more effectively in sharing knowledge, resources, and innovations. In addition, collaboration with world-class education institutions can raise the standards of university in developing countries through exposure to teachings, research, services, and management methods. International cooperations, experience, and exposure enable new researchers and educationalists to expand their work, publish it in high-impact journals, and present it at professional meetings. At the study level, institutional collaboration allows for an exchange of students that benefit both from the faculty exposures as well as academic culture and environment. Sixth, the university industrial research collaborations. Traditionally, industry sought partnerships with university as a means to identify and train future employees. As global economy shifted, companies wanted access to faculty who create the cutting-edge knowledge and technology central to university research. Knowledge creation and technology development require considerable capital investment, mostly provided by government. However, declining country and local funds, as well as increased competition for monies allocated to human service, has forced university researchers to seek new sponsors. The independent research relationship between universities and companies enable both entities to sustain growth in their areas, while companies rely on university researchers for product innovation. Faculty gain prestige through increased external research funds, just as industry needs innovative ideas to ensure profit. Researchers need additional research funds to sustain faculty productivity. This university industrial research collaboration will be much more crucial in the future. In conclusion, collaboration among higher education institutions with or without industrial engagement, either domestic or international level, is very necessary to strengthen the quality of all missions from higher education institutions. This will also benefit in the reputation of the institution and will have direct effect to the scoring in most of the university ranking table. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Maha Varia, President of Mahidol University. Thank you for that, and thank you for keeping to time as well. I'm most grateful to you. It's now my pleasure to move on to our colleagues from Brunei, and the next speaker is the Vice Chancellor, University Technology Brunei, Professor Dr. Dayang Haja Zohra Haji Sulaiman, who is also a founding member of the Asian Society of Ichthyologists, which I think is fish, is that correct? Yeah, great. And in recognition of her contribution to ASEAN COST, she was awarded the Meritorious Service Medal of ASEAN Science and Technology in July 2008. So congratulations, a little late for that, but that's wonderful. And the topic of the Professor's speech, Vice Chancellor's speech, is Zero to Hero, a case for UTB. Is that right?
Thank you, Dr. Chris Trimawan. I'm very pleased to be here. If you can bear with me, I'm just will be sharing my screen shortly. Okay, so you can see my slide. So my presentation is more of a personal story with regard to University Technology Brunei. So as a very brief introduction, it was established in 1986, so it's over 30 plus years now. But when it first started, it was known as Institute Technology Brunei, the only university which is specialized in engineering and technology. But now, after that, they expand to include business computing, which was already when they first started. But then they expand, UTB expands to offer applied sciences and mathematics and also design. In 2008, the institute was upgraded to a university without changing the name. But in 2016, the institute was renamed University Technology Brunei. So before 2017, we are nobody, zero. So our competition is only with other local universities. We have University Brunei Darussalam, University Islamic Sultan Sharif Ali, and then there is a University College. Both these UNISA and KUPU SB are actually Islamic universities. Only UBD or University Brunei Darussalam is a comprehensive university. So we are not known globally. So the question is, how do we know that we are making impact globally? Are we as good as other institutions of higher learning in the world? What about Asia? What about Southeast Asia? So that is a question, posed to us, even by our ministry. So to us, ranking is a must-have option. Reason being, because of our vision. We want to be amongst the best 10 universities for engineering and technology in Southeast Asia by 2018. So how do we do that? If not, you have to actually rank yourself among your peers. So for us, it is very important for us to be recognized globally. Why and how? So our benefit would be, we position ourselves in the world. So benchmarking will be the best practice. We want to be globally recognized as other prominent universities in the world. We will be able to attract global talents, hiring of academic staff. Students will be attracted to a ranked university. And of course, as being mentioned by the first speaker just now, Professor Banchong, that it will attract collaboration from industries. So what we did was first and foremost was to establish a planning and development office. That was back in 2014. It was led by a director and a small team consisting of academic staff. The role is actually to manage international university ranking and rating, and of course the university strategic plan. So these are the world university rankings that we have at the moment. We have the QS, the Berkeley Siemens, we have the Times, we have ARW, AIC, and CWR. When we study all this ranking, the only ranking that was really relevant to us at that point in time is the QS World University Ranking, because it doesn't, the demand for us to be in the listing is not as tough as Times, because Times require a volume of research in order for you to be participating in the ranking. So we have the academic reputation, employer reputation, faculty-student ratio, citation per faculty or the research, and the international faculty or international student ratios. So we use QS. It evaluates quality and global impact of the institution with regard to academic reputation, use of employers, teaching, research, and ability to attract international talent. So that's the reason why it is so relevant to us. So we also said that rankings did impact higher education landscape because it encouraged competition. How? Through improvement and maintenance of performance. So these are our first achievements which we are very proud of. So we have been rated a QS star in 2017, 4 stars. And after that, few months later, we submitted additional information, and we were rated 5 stars in 2018. And then the ranking came with QS Asia, which is number 165th. We are very, very joyful with that. And then World University Ranking come in 2018, and we're now at number 142. And the QS Global Young University in 2018 until 2019, we are number 57. This is a recognition for university under 50 years old. So where are we now? So we are now at rank 344 in the world. We are 40 Global Young University, top 50, and we are now also ranked in Asia 128. And we are also the first in Asia for international faculty. Where are we with regard to Southeast Asia? In terms of engineering and technology university, we are number 4 at the moment. And when we first started with our vision, we are nearly made it to the top 10 at number 9. So we're very happy with this development. So of course, we flaunt whatever we have because of what we achieve. So we just have all this visibility exercise. Sorry. Oh. Okay. So I will also touch between competition and collaboration. It is of course very, very, very good to have all this competition because it integrates collaboration with healthy competition or quality improvement. When it was first ranked, it has actually attracted number of mutual and beneficial collaboration from stakeholders, industries, as well as universities globally. So it has an impact. Ranking did have an impact. We have collaborated research and development, and with our university partners, we have exchange of students and staff, and then the industry setting up academies. For example, the Huawei ICT Academy, as you can see there is this poster on Huawei Academy. We also have a setup of artificial intelligence lab in UTB, supported by Brunei Shell Petroleum. So we have all those because we have shown that indeed we are a university to reckon with. So industry presence to research, which I have mentioned just now, and placement for students and staff. And you can see this photograph here is just a MOU between us and Brunei Shell and Shell Deepwater Borneo. It just to set artificial intelligence lab in University Technology Brunei. We also have international collaboration. It's very ASEAN in nature, and we are one of the founding members. There are 45 members from Asia. But mind you, this is something that I want to say, that we were not even ranked at that time. 2016, we were ranked in 2017. So what it means to us is, we can still actually network with other universities, regardless whether you are ranked or not. And this is this ACUNet, Asia Technology University Network, is actually a strategic international alliance of which University Technology Malaysia is the chair, established in 2016 during the 8th University President Forum at University Technology Malaysia, UTM, Johor Bahru. And the purpose is actually to connect technology-focused institutions of higher learning in Asia. The mission is to support member universities in achieving world-class quality of education and research in engineering and technology through strategic international alliance. Well, we benefit from this collaboration. We joined the online global classroom. We joined the webinar for presidents. So we did benefit. And very recently, we co-hosted International Start Week virtually, which focused on visibility and engagement. So we did indeed benefit from such collaboration and continue to do so. So what is moving forward for us? We still need to strive on our vision to become a global university impacting society. you also must true to our values: pious, professional, passionate, innovative, engaging, and scholarly. But mind you, the values will not be able to be measured in a world or Asian university. Sorry, that's a mistake there. Or Asian university ranking. This set have to be still inculcated by us. So we will not depend solely on ranking as a tool to measure. As you can understand, as you see just now, that we are also doing QS star rating. Because QS star rating is only entirely based on institution performance. As QS ranking, it is to do with peers. Where are you among your peers? And we also continue, yeah?
We've got to 10 minutes already, so...
Okay, just this one, Dr. Chris. So we continue to uphold our mission by nurturing socially responsible values. We're committed to build entrepreneurial society, industry relevant towards fulfillment of Vision 2035. And that's it. Thank you very much, Dr. Chris. Yep.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's all right.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That was very stimulating, zero to hero, and I'm sure we'll have a very useful discussion on that, those points you made. It's now my pleasure to introduce Professor Chung Chi Lin, Vice President for International Affairs at the very leading normal university in Taipei, NTNU. Professor Lin is a renowned expert in international cooperation with foreign educational institutions, and he will present to us the results of the 2019-20 joint research of NTNU with Pennsylvania State University and Kyushu University in Japan, titled Competition or Cooperation. Over to you, Professor.
Okay, thank you, Professor Christopher Treberman. Let me try, not familiar with this, to share the screen. Oops, I think I have the, let me see. You haven't seen the screen, right?
Not yet.
Sorry, I probably have a problem.
Maybe there's somebody who can advise you.
Yeah, let me get someone to help me, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, 帮我分享。
对，小美帮你画分享。
Oh, I'm sorry, I asked our staff to help me to share the screen, okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's fine. Do you want to begin, or do you need to have the slides from the beginning?
Can you see the screen now?
Not yet, no.
Oh,
yes. Here we go.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry about that. You can see the screen, right? Hello? Christopher, can you hear me?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay. So I'm sorry. So let me start it very quickly. But hold a second. How can I go to the next page? I'm really sorry about this. Okay, so okay, good afternoon, everyone. So based on the title of my slide, of course, the question is about cooperative or competitive. And I think as from the viewpoint of NTNU at this moment, I mean, we are sort of more keen in being cooperative. And so I'm going to share with you some story about our in the past 2 years, how we cooperate with 2 universities. One is in Japan, in the Kyushu University. The other is the Penn State University. And so the strategy in this slide, you see, is very simple. So we provide some fund for that, so that the faculties from each university has the opportunity to visit each other. It's not a big money. It's just to get some resource so that people could visit each other, and then try to seek for some opportunity for collaboration, in principle in research, but hopefully also in teaching, and also, for example, in the exchange of students in the future. So, that's, and then the fund is supported from each university, okay? And then we look for, after this kind of collaboration, we look for future sort of extension of the collaboration. This is just a very simple strategy. So can we go to the next page? Okay, so this is the example with Penn State University. So we call for proposals, and in 2019, and 7 proposal was accepted. And as I said, the money is not big, but you could see from here, these 7 proposals, they are from the Earth Science Department, and also like educational psychology, computer science, information engineering, and business school. And there's a corresponding department in Penn State University. And so this is the example of Penn State University. And can we go to the next slide? And then this slide, this is an example with Kyushu University. So you see, there are 8 proposals were selected. They are among the chemistry and liberal arts, culture, Taiwan cultural languages, literature, also optical engineering and physics, and also general education program, and then also human resource. And so there you see the corresponding the same in Kyushu University. The next slide, please. And then in 2020, again, because Kyushu is sort of close to Taiwan, so we sort of have a further collaboration in the next year. So again, I mean, some of them are sort of continuation is in chemistry, earth science, life science, and in print, most of them are in science and technology. But also we have, you see here, we have also one selected in International Taiwan Study Center, and so which is a collaboration with the Department of Education in Kyushu University. Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, and then so this slide indicates through this kind of collaboration, the paper, the publication actually goes up. I mean, comparing with the average, so the so-called field-weighted citation impact. So you see the average this citation impact at NTNU is 1.03, and the Penn State University is 1.6. And among these 16 publications, it's 1.78. And then there are some sort of like discipline, and then some of them go higher, some of them are lower. Next slide, please. And then this is about the Kyushu, and so you see something similar. I mean, comparing with the total average, right? All the collaboration actually in terms of so-called FWCI, this impact I mean, the publications always go higher. Next page, please. And then this is about QS ranking. So as you know, NTNU was sort of more famous in the education. It wants to be in Taiwan, we are the leading. Well, actually, still it's a leading university for high school teacher program. And but we sort of somehow now it's not specialized in education. We sort of more diverse now. And then, but this QS ranking is we go higher each year, but just in terms of education and training, this kind of discipline. And then the photo you see, we visit each other. The right one, the upper one is to visit Penn State University, and then the lower one is Kyushu. So we sort of the administration office, our staff, our president, and we sort of visit one another among the last 2 years. Next page, please. Okay, so the outcome, and then we look for the future, and also the next step. Then you see, like with the Penn State University, we already, based on the first stage of collaboration, they have already a 3-year proposed grant was sponsored by our government, and also on each side, like in Taiwan, it's so-called MOST and NSF in the state. And then, so this is sort of a successful result. You see, we sort of just provide some little money to encourage exchange of people, of staff, and then they find a good subject to go to for collaboration. And then on the right-hand side, you see this is about on the computer science and information, and then this is with Penn State University. And then the bottom one is the electro-optical engineering. Next page, and you see there's a good result, outcome. I mean, the one article is appear in a very good journal. And this page is about collaboration with Kyushu University. Okay, so it's like life science and chemistry, and also our science education center. We sort of have find their own interest and with each other, and then they deepen their collaboration after the first stage. Next page, please. And then this one is again. This is with Kyushu University and also with Penn State. So after this kind of first stage, we have a larger scale of interaction. So you see from the left-hand side, the photo is Kyushu University, their president, and many of their staff. They come to visit us, and we also have some revisit. So on the right-hand side, you see we also have some visiting program. And so this is mathematics and also in management. So they are not included in the first stage, but because of this kind of visiting program, this start some kind of new project between two institute of two universities. And also this year, we have a bigger grant, sort of supporting the so-called Huayu based. So it's kind of language program. It's Mandarin Training Center, and then we sent 2 people to Penn State University. So try to attract more students to come to Taiwan to NTNU to learn language, Chinese language, Mandarin. And so you see from this kind of first stage, call for proposal, this kind of stage, then gradually we find some spot which is deepened further and further. And so I think in some sense, we are in the second phase. But of course, unfortunately, we have this COVID-19 issue. At this moment, so this slowed down things a bit. But and then some alternative ways, like through the internet, Of course, cannot really resolve the whole issue, but we look for the future that all this pandemic will be gone, and then our collaboration will be deepened again, this is our story to share with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now we've had three excellent speakers, and it's now moving to the discussion session, and I encourage you all to type in the chat any questions or comments you may have. President Banchong addressed Better Together, collaboration for mutual benefit, and he outlined the benefits of collaboration in research and education, the need for a culture of collaboration. He mentioned quality improvement and the partnership with industry, private sector, and so on. So that's a set of questions there about collaboration for mutual benefit. And then Vice Chancellor Dr. Zero Dehero, how the University of Technology Brunei very successfully became known and was recognized through its benchmarking and its ambition to be in the top in Southeast Asia, setting up a planning office and deciding that the QS rankings were the most relevant, and saw the improvement through this competitive process of ranking. And then, of course, we've just had Professor Lin on competition or cooperation, and showing the benefits of collaborating with the two universities, Kyushu University and Penn State, with a little bit of seed funding, calling for proposals, and showing that the field-weighted citation impact was considerable after these collaborations, and that also impacted on ranking. So thank you to the three of you for those insights, and I think that gives us a rich field for inquiry and questions. And while people are thinking, maybe I can just start off by asking you, each of you, to give your views on, now that we have rankings moving into the area of the United Nations Social Development Goals and the contribution that research universities make to the common good. How do you think this kind of cooperation on the global challenges is going to help you or impact on your strategies for ranking? Does anybody want to start? Perhaps President Banchong, would you have some ideas on the way in which universities can...
I think for these questions, I think Time Higher Education has a special ranking system that consider about the impact to SDG. And if you have any activity that promote the SDG, you will have a raise up and the scoring the impact ranking of Time Higher Education impact ranking. And this will be one of the benefits of the visibility of the university. Another one is because of the SDG is the strategy is the policy that has been announced in UN and also contribute to the national policy. And from the level of national government, they will try to encourage all universities to participate in either academic and also research consider about the SDG. So any university have specialists or expertise in several things. They can engage to that of any goals that they can engage. Like Mahidol University, we as we strong in medical field or life science. We have 2 faculty of medicine. We also have faculty of nursing, medical technology, and also dentistry, pharmacy. And we contribute to SDG goal number 3, the number 3 goals. And we has been ranked 7 global level. And we contribute a lot. They take a look about the publications that concern about the life science and good health and well-being. And this is one of the our activity that we contribute, because we focus mostly in life science, and we have research contribute in this goals a lot, and also teaching and also providing knowledge to the publics, and contribute many policy advocacy to the societies and several things, including innovation and such as special pharmacy, vaccination development, several things. And we also have contribution and social engagement. So this is why we have been ranked in impact ranking of time higher education. And what about the contribution to SDG will encourage also the student. In currently, most of the students, they have their mindset to contribute to socials. So if you have any activity that contribute to societies, it will encourage the student to engage or admit into the university that have prominent in several things that you contributed to the society according to SDG goal. That's in my opinion, and also policy from Mahidol University.
Thank you so much for that very comprehensive reply. Thank you so much. And I wonder now whether Vice Chancellor Professor Zora, would you like to comment?
Yes, Professor Chris, I think for us, the rank that we participate in actually doesn't have the social innovation part. Although at the university itself, we have competition towards social innovation, the invention, but not in a bigger scale, I suppose, as being mentioned just now. But we have competition, the Crown Prince Award competition, in which encourage social innovation, and we also have a program or module related to community. And it is also, suitable for our vision, in which a global university impacting society. And we understand that we have to move towards that, but not in a bigger scale, I must say, at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Vice President, Professor Lin.
Yes, thank you, Chris. So I think our university, as I said from the beginning, that we viewed being cooperative is more important, because that will make us more, first of all, to be more integrated into the international society, and also this will, through the collaboration with foreign countries, I think we could see from those data that we really make the level of our research higher, and moreover, this such like SDG issue. I think recently one of my colleagues was telling me that some of her friends in Germany, they were looking for this SDG issue in education, and I think we have many experience. As you say, I said before that we have some our expertise in education, and so we really focus on such kind of social inequality in education. For example, like in Taiwan, we have some of the normal village. Kids over there, they don't have a good. They were not really well educated. Actually, some of them, they sort of refuse to be educated. And so how do you deal with this such kind of issues? And then so some of my colleagues try to invent some mathematical game, and then successfully pursue these kids' friends who still stay in classroom. They call them back and say, hey, this is so fun, why don't you come back? So this kind of thing, we have some sort of successful story in Taiwan, and then I think some of our international friends, they sort of like got interested, like, hey, maybe we should collaborate in such kind of issue. So I think through this kind of way, really, I think both sides they benefit from each other, from this kind of collaboration. So I think, although I know this world is sort of very competitive, but I think that's in some sense, maybe that's more like from the viewpoint of economy, but I don't know, maybe. But from my colleague and my here, I think we focus more on being cooperative. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's great. We now have a question from Dr. Wang Yan in Beijing. My question is to the speaker from UTB. What are the most important strategies for growing into a globally top-ranking university?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the question. There are just 3 recipes. First is the leadership. Second is that you have a very committed people, dedicated people. That's very important. Thirdly is that you're focused on achieving your goal. Those 3 things are very important. Thank you for the question.
Does any other people want to pick up that question in some way? The most important strategies for growing into a top-ranking university globally. Okay, we don't have any other questions, so let me ask, in the meantime, just a follow-up to what we were discussing before, and that is that the universities here on this panel have generally been focusing on science and technology issues, and naturally for UTB, but many of the issues that our societies now face require interdisciplinary collaborations, so competitors to collaborate, if you like. It's not a choice between competition and collaboration. So in this process, there's a lot of discussion about whether social sciences and humanities are somehow excluded from the rankings in the impact that they have. So do you have any reflections on that? For example, UTB, do you have some collaborations that you would value in terms of connecting your expertise in science and technology to these other areas, maybe through alliances with other universities, which are also highly ranked?
I guess our communication for teaching and learning probably will establish a sort of collaboration with other universities. It just started to offer programs, so it's still very new, but we expect we will move towards that, with the arts as well, or the social sciences as well. I'm sure we will be, collaborating with them.
Right.
Yeah. But at the moment, it's more of a science technology, very heavy on science, technology, and engineering.
I'm Bachong. May I add some information?
No, you've disappeared from the screen. I'm sorry. I see. Yes, excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Concerning about the social science and humanities, the culture of the people in this discipline, mostly they will publish as books. And sometimes the publication is quite narrow spectrums and with very little or small number of authors. And sharing or citation is quite few compared to science, technology, or in medical fields. So the citation, the whole citation of the world, global levels, cumulatively, annually is very little. It's not much. This is why any university concentrate in social science or humanity will not be ranked so high. And this is why QS ranking, they try to compensate the standardization for the citation effects, that they have special issue, special methodology to enhance the social science and humanity, as they have the policy that every discipline among 5 disciplines like science, technology, natural science, life science, social science, and arts and humanities, they would have a equal prestige. That they try to standardize about the citation to be very close to 20% in each of these 5 categories. So this is why the QS ranking has a separate methodology on standardization of citation per faculty. And I would say that although you have a potential niche in science technology. Everything of innovation, everything of science or technology innovation. The one who use it, people. The one who utilize it, human. So if you create something that human will not use it, it will not have a value. So sometimes that we have to think about the people to use your innovation. This is why some of the university have corporate social science, science and technology in certain topics, so that they will understand, let's say about design thinking, what human like, what is the how people live, that you can create science and technology to accommodate or suitable for human being and to be preferred to use by the stakeholder, which is the people, to utilize it. This is why social science is also very important to any science of technology in innovation. And science and also social science, I would say that science technology develop something interesting, but social science will develop something for harmonization of people, for peaceful and healthy society. This is why social science is more and more important nowadays, because the fast moving of science technology sometimes left social science thinking. This will create some mismatch of human behavior, which is very important. They will have more and more mortality from suicidals and mental problem on several things in such kind of fast-moving society. This is my opinions. That's why Mahidol also emphasize, even though we are strong in life science, we also encourage social science to engage to our strengths. So we have medical field as a core, scientific technology as a core, and we engage social science to participate in any kind of research together. This is why we try to using multidiscipline principle to create new research, and also to solve any complex issue in our society. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments on this issue? Thank you. To move on, one of the, I don't think we have any more questions from the floor. So do we, is there anyone else? Vice President Lin, did you want to comment?
Yeah, well, I sort of agree with the president, Mahai Savari. So I think also our Professor Sulaman also mentioned there are a lot of value who could not be measured by this so-called rankings. So I sort of completely agree with that. So I'm a mathematician, and even in the so-called natural science, I mean, we were the category for mathematics actually sometimes was put into natural science, but actually fundamentally it's different from natural science. And so the people, when they somehow do this paper counting or some kind of to the evaluation, the game is sort of very unfair, because whenever you do something deep, you can't be so productive in terms of quantities. We already even, so like I'm in the College of Science, Natural Science here, but we already see the game is not so fair, and then sometimes this is very discouraging situation. So I'm pretty sure that in some way, to me, this QS or whatever ranking, so some people try to have a balance, right? To say, okay, well, the game, the way you rank people's work or university is different, so we should do some balancing things. But eventually, to me, I would say all of this kind of ranking, we should just view it as a reference. We should come also from our heart, what this university is doing, or what these people, or what this department, what we are doing. So for example, we talk about SDG, right? We all know it's very important. But maybe in some way, or maybe at the beginning, people don't really put this into the ranking stuff. And then, of course, it's good. The UN now, this SDG is sort of a key or important goal to achieve, and in some way balance a little bit. But maybe in the future, this even QS or whatever, they will also put this into as a ranking thing. But I'm a mathematician, so I know logic is incomplete. It has been proved by mathematicians that logic system, any logical system cannot be complete. So this means whatever the ranking system you create, it can never be fair. I mean, there are always something misused or sort of overlooked. So I think we always need to sit apart and then think, okay, yeah, well, this kind of data is sort of a reference only. I mean, everything still, we should sit down and things come from our heart and say, okay, what are we doing? Are we doing this the right way? And then is this really meaningful? So I think this kind of discussion is really important. So I see also from medical university or medical school in Taiwan, some professors are always emphasizing it's not just to learn the technology or to learn how you treat your patient. It's also very important. How do you really care the society? Do you really care people? So this kind of education is also extremely important in the in this discipline. So I think this is sort of I don't know. This is based on my personal experience. So so this is my comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And on that last comment, it connects with a question I was going to ask, which is all universities have experienced the need to teach differently during the pandemic and to go online and so on. And the quality of the student experience has changed, and the well-being of students and of faculty members. And I wondered whether how you think this will affect the future, and not only in terms of ranking, but in terms of the value that the members of the universities, the faculty and the students, how they see their institutions and their futures in it. I wondered whether you had some reflections on that, because I think this will eventually flow through to the performance of universities. Well, can I start with you? Go the reverse order. Professor Lin, can we start with you?
Okay, thank you, Chris. I think so far, I mean, this pandemic doesn't really affect that much to people here in Taiwan, because I think our government sort of recognized control. Maybe there are some kind of outbreak in the past few months, but now we are sort of a suitable control. So this is a big issue. I mean, I could see from my colleague in Germany, they sort of, kids either in university, they can't go regularly to university to a lecture. I think, and we don't know how long this is going to last, right? So this definitely will affect this generation. It's so unfortunate. And then instead of going to a real lecture, they have to just sit in front of computer. This kind of issue. So perhaps we should learn some story from the other two speakers. Maybe they have more story to tell us. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chancellor.
Yes, thank you, Professor Chris. For us, the first wave that was back in 2020, it was tough. The reason being, we do not have infrastructure, connectivity, internet is not so fast. But because of pandemic, blessed in disguise, we managed to to make our connectivity faster. We get money from the government, and it worked so well. We changed most of teaching, most of learning. Now we have online teaching, online assessment for us. Because in the beginning, nobody bothers to actually put their teaching online. Nobody bothers. But because of pandemic, then they have to do it, whether they like it or not. And then we now experience the second wave. We just start on the 7th of August. This is our second wave. We're more ready. We have everything in place. We have academic continuity plan in place. So everything is good. Although the student, they love to do face-to-face interaction. And when we did not have COVID, we do the hybrid. So we have 50%, at the most 50% online, and the rest can be face-to-face. Thank you.
Very much. President Banchong, you had some comment?
Well, thank you. I think the COVID pandemic is quite very important at this moment, and it leaves something that we will appreciate. Concerning about the wording of COVID, COVID, the COVID leaves something to humankind. Firstly, C is collaboration that we mentioned. We work together, we share knowledge, we share data to encourage the vaccination development all the global level. And O is openness. We share knowledge to each other. Anything will not be hidden, because we try to save the world, save the people, all global level. The V is we value each other. Like engineer also try to collaborate with medical fields to build up something, negative chambers, masks, PPE, several kinds that we domestically we try to improve, to invent, to do it ourselves, because it's very essential part that we cannot buy from any part of the world, because every part of the world requires it. So we have to do it by ourselves. And the D is dedication. We have several things that happen very beautiful, that people try to dedicate to help other people. This is, I think, to be a human being. When we struggle with difficulty, we share empathies, we express and we help each other quite well at this moment. Anyway, come back to the higher educations. Because of we have to balance between our mission have to continue, but we also have to think about the well-being and also safety for the people, for our staff and also our students. How can we do that? Why we have to continue our mission in academics, teaching and learning, research and innovation, everything that higher education has to contribute. So this comes with some kind of assistive device, assistive tools. We have technology that can support like Wi-Fi, like a virtual conference like this, virtual conference, virtual teaching and learning, and also simulation. Although in my university we have medical students, we have to teach medical students, why we try to use several kinds of virtual classroom and simulation instead of face-to-face in class, and we utilize more and more technology to compensate this. Anyway, the human touch is still very essential. The student have to learn how to take care of patients, how to learn how the doctor or clinician approach to the patient, and we also have to learn how we can take care of the patient in such kind of pandemic condition, like a virtual lounge, conference, report, morning report, and also with camera follow up to the patient. Any equipment that have been advanced development to give the patient for monitoring inside the special rooms, and several things that medical students have to learn new technology to accommodate such kind of institution. So every innovations have increasing, and medical students have to accommodate and adapt. Staff members also have to adapt how to teach the medical student and how to take care of the patient during service in the hospital and also in the OPD. We have to segment the patients. We have to isolate it. We have to use equipment to protect ourselves and also protect the other patients. This is all happen at this moment. So we learn a lot. If pandemic have subsided, I think several things that we have experienced using IT will still remain. But human touch also very essential, and we will narrow spectrums using some kind of benefits of technology to to continue using it. And we also try to supplement human touch and also several things that face-to-face is essential for medical students during the class in future after pandemic have been subsided. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for those reflections, all three of you, on that important issue. I have a request here from Professor Akita Tatsumi to make a comment related to university rankings. Professor Akita, are you there? Would you like to make a comment?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for wonderful presentations, and thank you, Dr. Breman, for leading this session smoothly. I'm Tatsumi Akita, Deputy President for International Affairs, Yamanashi Gakuin University in Japan. I'd like to make some comment related to the university ranking with a different side of we discussed today. As we call the first 4 years programs of university as undergraduate, the students in the programs were supposed to get ready to deepen the study as graduate students later. That means undergraduate programs are to train the students to be pre-specialists. But these days, the role has changed, at least in Japan. About only 11% of undergraduates proceed to graduate programs. Rest of them get jobs. This means that undergraduate programs these days are for students to study and learn how to work well in the society through studying each academic field. In other words, the main role of undergraduate programs may not undergraduate any longer. That is why Japanese government approved the vocational university system recently. We call it the idea as K-16 instead of K-12. Therefore, competition and collaboration among universities may need to be changed. That is, the evaluation points for undergraduate programs on university ranking from now on may contain how well the universities make students get ready to work well, besides the number of doctors, the quality and quantity of the thesis, the facilities, and so on. Thank you very much for giving time.
Thank you very much, Professor Akita. That raises the question of the purpose of university and the meaning of education. So I'm sure our speakers will have some reflections on that subject. So who would like to speak first? Vice Chancellor, would you like to speak first?
For me, Professor Chris, ranking is not about everything, as mentioned by Professor Lin. It's to fulfill our international requirement, as you say. I mean, as we say, because we need to be known to others as well. And it is not necessary everything's about ranking. No, there are other things that we need to actually look at as well. So I hope, you know, ranking will just provide us with that platform. If they tend to bring in everything, I do not know. It will be very complex, I guess. And also, I would like to add that during pandemic, ranking is challenging for us, and I guess for everybody as well, because students cannot go overseas, or students cannot come to the university, and our staff will not be able to do conference overseas. But then, you know, we have all these webinar and global classroom. It makes things easier. So in that way, ranking is not affected at all by the pandemic. So I just want to add on that one as well. Yeah.
And is your expectation that your undergraduates will mainly go directly into employment, or that they will do research?
I think they have the opportunity to be attached with an industry when they are in their final year, the capstone project. So I don't think they will actually. Well, most of them go to employment. Only a percentage of them who are not having any job, they will continue their study. They continue to do their studies at UTB. But if they get a job, they will for sure. They will leave UTB university. So is that answering the question, Prof. Chris? Or in my
well, it's a broad area for discussion that Professor Akita has raised. So there are different ways of answering it.
Yes.
Would you like to add anything?
You talk to me?
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry. Well, I share you just one story that one of my colleagues told me. I mean, before, as I said, I mean, in the department, in mathematics, I mean, we talk about like, we have our government, we have some way to evaluate the research, right? And then we give a reward to people who were elected as you have a good quality of research, things like that. And then one of my colleagues told me, well, even before this kind of system, we don't know who did deep research, isn't it? And I said, yeah, of course. So, I mean, well, ranking, this kind of thing, of course, we use this is so easy, I mean, or maybe even more transparent to see how you compute, how you come up with the data. And in some way, you think this is transparent and sort of fair. But on the other hand, you should always keep in mind how you use it is another story. So it's not everything. So it's better we just take it as a reference. And we should always ask, what's the meaning of doing this? So this is my sort of like, not just my own personal opinion, but at least among some of my colleagues. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. President Bang Chong?
Yeah, I think concerning about the question of Professor Akita, I think the ranking system, in nowadays of ranking system, we have almost 16 ranking table, and every ranking have their criteria. I would say that, like in medical field, if they have any too many options of surgeries, that means the condition is not have no any best option, has no best option. If it is absolutely best option, then we have only single option. Because the ranking system is no any perfect ranking system. This is why they have several ranking. And every ranking have special identification or special determinations. And I would say that such kind of Shanghai Chiao Tong or AR academic ranking of World University, this ranking focus mostly in science and technology, and focus in quality, very high qualities, like the scoring concerning about alumni receive Nobel laureate. This is quite difficult for many countries, many universities. They will have some country that have such kind of scoring. Talking about National Taiwan University ranking, they have a long window of citation papers. This, in case that of the new university, will not have any high score, because they have 11 years of window for citation cumulative effects. For young university, will not catch up this ranking system. For writer ranking, they mention about high quality journal published, which is focus on publication. Focus on publication. For QS, they have high rate of reputation. So this is somewhat different to others. So I would say that every ranking system has drawback. If you want to using ranking for the vocational study, I think so it's not suitable to get into ranking like writer ranking. It's not suitable for a vocation college. This is not. It is a mismatch of your duties and your mission to that of the ranking system. So in summary, ranking have no any ideal ranking table. Every ranking system have specific consideration. So understand how they include, how they put the weight on, and what is the dimension that they consider. So this will be the information that where you are in such kind of condition. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we're coming towards the end of our discussion. So let me just have one last question for each of you to answer quite quickly. And I'll make it complicated. No, I think what you just said, Mr. President, in terms of rankings, all having their advantages and disadvantages, and one of the advantages we've discussed is that it's useful for benchmarking and quality improvement. But what do you think of the disadvantage that it tends universities towards uniformity and has a tendency to pull them away from responsibility to their own societies, and especially when everyone has to operate maybe in English in the international sphere and so on. What do you think of the tendency to draw you away from your responsibility to your own society by the uniformity of rankings? Just 1 minute each, and because I made it complicated, now, Vice Chancellor, would you like to start?
Yes. One disadvantage, the major disadvantage, is that we tend to be engrossed in this. We're putting all our effort in this, in this exercise, and everybody has to put their effort. So that's the only main disadvantage I can think of. Other than that, it's all positive. Thank you, Vice President.
President Bantra.
I would say that using the ranking to improve your performance, and to understand where you are in such kind of dimensions, and don't be fussy with that. The great university have a great contribution. If you think right and you contribute to the society, it's okay. That's my opinion. Thank you.
So much. And the last word to Vice President Professor Lim.
Yeah, thank you. So as I said, I mean, our university president sort of face a pressure that our ranking sort of a little bit go a bit worse in the past years. But he always said, well, as I said, we should focus on the meaning. Don't just, ranking is just a tool to understand how we perform at this moment based on some data. But we always need to convince people we are doing the right thing, and not based on the ranking itself, but the meaning of what we are doing. So I think this is sort of my comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And it's now my pleasure on behalf of Far East Federal University and all of the participants to thank you three speakers for your insights and for your conversation afterwards. I'm sure we've all benefited a lot, and I wish you well in the rankings. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Please.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, bye-bye.
Nice to meet you.
And
Bye.
bye-bye.